Okay, I'm gonna adjust the volume. Around -40. Is the mic balanced now? No, not too low. Yeah, way too low. Alright, let's try -30. Check. Yeah, a little still low. 20. Just good? Okay, that's good. Now we go for the desktop audio. Alright, yeah, we're good to go now. Hold on, my voice, is it clear here? Nah, no it's not. Game's a little too loud. Okay, I'll put -40. Yep, perfect. We're good to go now. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, hi there. Welcome to your new job at the new and improved Mr. Darl's Pizza Place. So, there are a couple things to know
And that's Fall Guy. Okay, if you're wondering how this game works, it's actually pretty goddamn simple. Darl and Trent, the balloon boy, goes to the left. Everyone else goes to the right. So you can just cheese the game pretty much. Oh yeah, if you're wondering why the nights are so short in this game, that's because originally they were actually longer, but this is a 64-bit system, so it's twice as fast. And it also leads to other bugs like Toy Darla cannot attack to the right door, apparently.
Hey, great job. You made it through your first night. Now, something I forgot to mention is that the animatronics become more aggressive as the week progresses. So, be more on guard tonight. Those older characters might become active. So, you might want to check Camp 6 every so often. That character doesn't seem to like being watched. If you're not careful, it may run down the hallway. If it's not in the present or anywhere near it, then close the right door. Good luck and good night.
And yeah, it's basically the game. Only the Darls and this guy, Trent, goes to the left door. Literally everyone else is just the right door. yeah, that's basically the entire game pretty much.
Hey, night 3. Most people will quit by this time. Now, are you doing anything to the animatronics during your shift? They're having problems. They were acting fine, but then they act fine around the kids. But when they see an adult, they just stare. It makes them feel uncomfortable. We're going to be going over the security tapes later this week. We're launching a new system tomorrow. Animatronics are no longer allowed to walk during the day, but for some reason they can't be stopped from moving around during the night. They would stop moving after 9, but before 12 they would go back to the show stage. It's weird. But back to this new system. It allows performers to put on an animatronic costume. Less danger for our customers. You're in no danger anyway, so no reason to worry. Oh, and you might not want to bump into them during the day. The suits are a little unsafe. So just avoid any physical contact with anybody wearing one of these character costumes. You might have noticed that the back room is not featured on any of the cameras, or at least a back room besides the parts room. Now, we do talk about a back room sometimes, like one that but sometimes we're not talking about that one. This is for other things and such. You don't have any keys for it, and no customer can see the door anyway. It's hidden. Guess that's it. Well, best not be stopping you from doing your job. Good night.
Okay, now I remember what I want to talk about. The workplace thing. Okay, basically, my memory is fucked, pretty much. If I think you heard my speech, a little more slower on things. Motherfucker. I'm gonna see if I can cheese this. Maybe I can cheese this. Okay, I think I just found a cheese strategy. Yep, I found cheese strategy. Yep, I won. Hmm. Okay. So, what was saying? Basically, one of the reasons I'm pissed is because about what happened earlier back in October. Dad told about the life-saving surgery thing. Yeah. I ended up getting taken. Okay, phone call first.
Hey, night four. Now, you're aware of the investigation going on, right? It's nothing bad. These things happen from time to time, you know? Just, rumors causing the law to get involved, you know? If you hear anything that doesn't sound like our establishment, then just forget about it. Again, rumors, you know? Well, gotta go. Good night.
Okay, let's do this. So basically, yeah, a workplace injury happened, like an actual real life to me actually. If you look into some streams, I think you notice that like I have like a weird, I guess would be by my left eyebrow thingy. Okay. But yeah, basically an accident happened, and so in that spot where my left eyebrow, I actually have a bit of like no hair at all. I think some of you noticed it back when I did that Halloween re-upload video. Okay, phone call. Okay. You were not on the left door. Literally, you were not there at all. Yeah, he's bugged. Okay, so yeah, Toydoro's bugged. Oh wait, no, that one's a 0. Okay, so yeah, Toydoro's bugged. You literally just showed up. You literally just showed up. Yep, he's bugged. He's fucking bugged. I mean, at this point I have enough power, so I'll just beat the knight anyways. Okay, so now the workplace accident thing. Yeah, in the middle of work, basically, so what's there about the left eyebrow thing? Yeah. Think so first? Okay, so phone guy didn't die. We just showed up for 2 more nights and yeah. So in other words, the player was just being weird on night 5. Then on night 6, well, yeah, I got fired for that. So that was offensive doors too. Alright, not to go for what we're really here on that. Yeah, a workplace. I think it was like an image of me. Like you see me back in that Halloween re-upload video. If you have a sharp eye, you'll notice on my left eyebrow I have like some hair missing stuff. It was basically like a earth defect. Well, at work one day, or in October, basically there was a projectile, not like an actual bullet or something, it was like, I think some part of metal or something. It hit right there at that spot. And yeah, now I have a scar there. And even though it took a while a bit, like I was kinda just stuck in the hospital. That's how I was able to eventually get on my channel and put like my posts like, hey. Cause you never know if you can make it out of those or not, especially when it has to do with the brain. the projectile wasn't too fast, but it was it was a little like piece of metal. Actually, no, it was a bit bigger because like it didn't go fully inside. It was like kind of like sticking out a bit, making like a scar. At this point, it's actually mostly healed. But yeah, the effects are a bit permanent. And that kind of messed with my memory, and also a bit of my vocals, as it made me more slow speaking, so. And thinking about it, also looking back at that footage, the security footage, I could have dodged it if my head wasn't, let's say, still in a bad spot from what happened in October with the Jaden shit show drama. Like, I've known this guy for almost like 2 decades. Then he just throws that friendship away. He doesn't want to hear him out. Like his side on this drama, try and work things out. And then that happened. The incident where now basically my brain's fucked pretty much. Originally, I was just thinking after doing what I love to just leave the internet and come back one day when I got the project. This isn't like an archive or even behind the scenes stuff, no. This one specifically, it's actually something I'm keeping in the back of my head when I eventually have more experience in that field. And eventually I'm going to give that a shot. But consider that not in development for now. For now, I'm going to finish up those things as I can post, along with the PlayStation Presents thing. And hopefully next year will be a good year. Oh yeah, on the 24th, I'm gonna be streaming an anniversary of a game that came out exactly a year ago. And I'm gonna basically just straight reveal the plot of that game, like what was the entire plot. So at this point, that version, the timeline game and everything, is dead. Like, Jaden threw it all away completely for nothing. For fucking nothing. And, okay, I probably said this last stream. Okay, actually, yeah. Okay, I know I said this last stream, but I'll just say it again. All of this could have been fucking prevented if he just blocked. And then ignore. Like, that's what I do. That's what the creator of Bayonetta does. And it works. Because that's how the internet works. Most of the dramas of either Five Nights at the R.G.A studio or R.G.A is mostly caused by Jane just not balancing shit out. Like, he never just one day stopped and like just basically just think like, okay, how am I gonna fare this out? Am I gonna do my R.G.A series first, or am I gonna do finance first? And then just stick to it. And And you know, I did actually try offering like a solution to the kid problem once. And this was instead of blocking, banning, or any other bullshit, to just, well, go to extremities. Remember that episode of Clarence where he like makes fake money and then in the end when they have to get rid of the fake money he says that they're gonna burn down the school and place like a scene of the school on fire. Then when his friend Jeff says, no, that's a bad idea, that's when he then says, okay, no problem, we'll just flood the school instead. Like one extreme or the other extreme. Then in the end, Jeff thinks it more reasonable to just use inflation and bring the money value back to normal. While the correct solution in the case of Agent Finance is to just basically do what I do, people that are genuinely hate, ignore them. If blocking doesn't work, ignore. Eventually they'll get bored, especially nowadays that people with social media don't have attention spans anymore. Like they cannot, even like on paper, I don't know, write down and plan things ahead of time. It's a different time, but you do what you gotta do. The key thing is to never give up. But yeah, on the 24th, actually, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna make it even better. I'm gonna save for Thanksgiving. You can say some behind the scenes stuff. Hey Chris, if you're watching this stream, keep an eye out for Thanksgiving, because let's just say I got plans, and during that stream we're gonna see some behind the scenes of what the original series of Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio rebranding was supposed to be. But to make things clear, the rebranded series was always meant to be 4 games. Then the 5th game was gonna be a 2.0, which actually exists, called Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 5 Remastered. Literally, that's the game. That was always a plan for the 5th one. There was never supposed to be a Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 5 rebranded, because the original game wasn't even finished. It was going to be a 2.0 update, and that's it. Then it would go straight to Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 6 Part 2. But hey, I don't mind. But yeah, during that Thanksgiving stream, we're going to go, let's say, behind the lore, and I'm just gonna flat out tell you the entire story of Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio rebranded, since ever since I got like in contact again, because like it was like a pattern, right? I watch this series, things go shit. I try like getting content stuff, and when that doesn't work, then I just leave. And then when one time I basically got temporarily banned, since I couldn't respond to Jay in time because I was at work. Yeah, sometimes I'm just silent, because like he's silent back. Like he's always the first one to be silent. Barely any content. It's just sad. He wasn't always like this. But you know, fuck him. Might as well explain the full thing. Thanksgiving I'm basically going to just flat out say the entire lore of what was supposed to be the original Jaden plan. Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio rebranded 1 to 4, then 5 2.0, and then Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 6, Part 1 and Part 2. Because at this point, the 4 rebranded games that were made by Jane stuff, they're not canon anymore. And I don't know the state of this R.G.A. series. Thinking about it now, to be fair, he was always a bit of a problematic guy, but no one's perfect. And that shit he did back in 2016, where I think I did another stream where I actually talked about what he did, and that was I think the final part of Road to the R.G.A. Studio Rebranded 1, if anyone remembers that still. Eventually I confronted him about that, and we kind of just moved on from it, since I was, at this point, actually, even now, I'm literally the only OG original to actually have been with his channel from the very start. Well, I'm not the only one. There is also R.G.A. Video Maker. There was Miles, but Miles just left because, yeah, Jane just, and like I said in the community post, they were basically best friends, and Jane did that. You know, well, it wasn't October. This was actually years ago drama, because, well, let's just say it kind of a habit of just not knowing to balance the two series. I mean, hell, if you watch the first video of his channel, or it's the current one, it was literally him coming back from an R.G.A. drama. Just cursed. But yeah, I'm just gonna go over that. Since I did actually help him with the script of that game. Well, basically I was like a plot patcher. Where after the games came out, if there was any plot hole on the Discord server, I would like write an explanation to fix the plot hole. And then that becomes a new canon. So that way things make more sense. And I am going to eventually get in contact with Ray. I just gotta basically take care of myself with things going in real life. Afterwards, I'm gonna get in contact with him, so like I can at least, you know, do something with the series in a good way. Like try to end this year with a banger instead of a whimper. On the plus side, I don't know if any of you paying attention, but anyone remembers FNF versus Sky? Like the original mod? Well, it's officially getting a 2.0 tomorrow. For real. In fact, it's getting it in 13 minutes. So, y'all can check that out. For that stream, it's gonna be that future stream. Okay, the day I'm gonna do is just okay. Let's figure this out. Um, tomorrow Friday is 21, so Saturday is 22. 24 is Monday. 25 Tuesday. 26 Wednesday. 28 is Friday. Okay. Not this Friday. The other Friday, I'm gonna do basically. Yeah, it's gonna be like one of the rebranded games. And I'm just. Actually, it's gonna be rebranded 4 because honestly, Fantasy Studios 4 rebranded is just one of my favorite games. Like, one of the best made FNAF fan games ever made. So I think it was fun that the original FNAF 4 was actually a personal favorite. And hell, in fact, the boss fight ideas, I think I said this in an earlier stream. I don't remember which one. I think I do. Yeah, it was the full playthrough of Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 4 branded. And even back then when I reacted to the Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 2 rebranded release trailer. And it was even referenced, I think it was night 4. Yeah, yeah, it was night 4 of Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio rebranded. To give context what I mean talking about right now, it was one of the old, basically it was like replaying Five Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 4 original, and Jay was in the stream. And he like answered a couple questions. For example, you ever wondered why the Night 5 page hit the character models looked completely different, especially for Leonard? That was a close one. Um, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. Yeah, I'm basically living on mom's place. You know, the apartment, the bill stuff, my own place, it's just too expensive. Goddamn inflation. Like, it was supposed to get lower with Trump, but it just didn't work out. This isn't 2016 anymore. No, fuck no. This time and age, both sides just suck. Both the Democrats and the Republicans. It's basically what I used to think of politics for 2016, where before Trump came seen, I just saw no difference between the two parties. Like 2012, I didn't vote at all. Trump was when I first actually started voting again, but well, as they say, 3 strikes, you're out. So this third time voting is basically going to be pretty much the last time I vote. Because I don't believe in any politician anymore. You know, the guy was different, like a businessman, but yeah, turned out the guy, in fact, now in second term, he's just completely insane. Especially the birth certificate shit. Like, I am not going to be sent back to goddamn Cuba. Even because literally I was. Okay, I was literally born here and raised here in the United States. And I am not going to back in that shithole Cuba just because Oh, my relatives just happen to be from there, which also includes my parents. Fuck no. And they do end up picking me up, well, that might be a case I may just go for well, a coup pretty much. 'Cause fuck no, I'm going back. Fuck no. Okay, going back to topic, because this just getting depressing again. And honestly, it's better to talk about things that at least you yourself as a person have actual control over rather than just, at this point, basically YouTube. In fact, my only news is from a channel where literally the videos are called News Without the BS. I think it's called Sir Swag or Swag. Yeah, that was the name of the guy. He's pretty much the only one that makes good news anymore. Because actual news stations are just straight up propaganda. All of them. Communist propaganda. Okay, but going back, yeah, Thanksgiving Street, be ready. Because not only am I going to just explain the entire story, what was supposed to be under James' vision, because eventually he pretty much just allowed me to just basically patch plots that would just explain the Discord server. Like, yeah, that's that. I'm trying to remember something else. Oh yeah, the boss fight thing. Yeah, it was a finesse 4 string, and that was like I think it was on night 6 or 7. I was like saying like, hey, nothing happens on night 6. Maybe you could put like another animatronic or something. Maybe even make it like Mally fighting herself, cause like if you beat the maximum of the original Final Nights at the R.G.A. Studio 4, you get a cutscene of the original Final 5 with Nightmare Mally, so that could work. And Jay in the stream actually agreed. And then when Rebranded 1 came out, he actually referenced like Mally losing her mind with the music box driving her crazy in Night 4. Again, this was before that got retconned in Final Fantasy HQ Studio 4 rebranded with the tape recorder. Yeah, Jane's constantly retconning these games. Even more than Scott with the Fans of Freddy series. Well, yeah, that's that. Actually, continue on. Yeah, after he did the reference that when I reacted to the release trailer with Jane's permission, and I saw the pre-spring robot fight, I basically said, I think it was a cheeky like, oh, he took my idea. Okay, so that's in the game now. Cool. Yeah, that Night 6 Finance 4 of Webinar Mally, I was saying should have been like a boss or something. Yeah, he actually, not exactly added in, but something similar was added for basically Night 6 of Finance at HQ Studio 2 rebranded. Then in Final Fantasy Studio 4 rebranded the Phase 3, where Mally's just losing her mind and hallucinating. Um, okay, even though the character is Julie, I just hate that name. No, Maggie. Yeah, the character name is Maggie. I just hate that name, so I'm just gonna say Julie instead, because that's just a way better name. Yeah, that Phase 3 is pretty much what I wanted, actually. Which actually makes Final Fantasy Studio 4 rebranded feel like a personal game. It just feels so personal. Now, despite all this, you might be asking, okay, if you like did all this, why are you nowhere in the credits? Jane's always getting into drama left and right. If I'm in the credits, at least I don't get dragged downwards, which is what happened with the rest of the team. So I see it as a blessing that I'm not in the credits, so I don't get dragged into any of that drama shit. And in fact, Night 5 of Final Fantasy Studio 5 Remastered, specifically, no, Night 6 of that game, is exactly my vision. I'm talking about the 1.0 version. Like, this was before her design, Namer Mali, got updated again for 2.0. Like, back in 1.0, when instead the design was actually like the original Five Nights at the R.G.A Studio 4 Namer Mali model. It was like, damn, huh, my idea got in. I guess the one thing I am disappointed is that in Final Fantasy Studio 4 Remastered, that there wasn't a boss in that game. But then again, the whole point of that game was for people to be at least entertained enough to build up hype for rebranded 4. Oh yeah, the reason why Remaster 4 was even made was because Jane was actually making like a joke somewhere where like, oh damn, this game is taking so long to make with the boss fight. And so then he thought, actually, how much easier do you think it would be to just make an entire like reimagining of the 4th game based on the original one? And that's how Final Fantasy Studio 4 Remastered became a thing. Because yeah, it turns out that's easier to program and do than the boss fight of Five Nights at the R.G.A Studio 4 rebranded. Let's just say, be ready for next week Friday. Especially Chris, if you're watching, you made this far. Thank you, Chris. I'm gonna be showing you behind the scenes stuff, like the actual proof. Though it's more interesting gonna be like paper. Because if you don't know how these development stuff works, it was actually in the extras of the original Final Fantasy R.G.A Studio 5, and I think also rebranded 4 as well. But like everything is done on paper first. Like the story, the concept, the ideas and stuff. And then when eventually we get to that game, maybe depending on the game before we went to a couple rewrites here and there. But then when we get to the official game, then we just finish up some things, and then we get to like actual development of the coding, computer stuff. Really cool. So be ready for that the other week Friday. Man, what a long road. You know, my first like true official account on YouTube was actually made 10 years ago from now, I think. I'm gonna find see my original channel. Hold on. If you're wondering why I'm not now anymore, well, I think it's a description of Coolman61, like lost numbers and yeah, dead phones and deals going nowheres. I'm gonna find it. I know I have it here. I know I have it here, just hold on, wait. It was one of my first art playlists actually. Alongside random memes when that was a thing before YouTube deemed it, I think it was terrorism to have it taken down. Alright, here it is. Found it. Yeah, it was called Cool Alien 61. And that channel was made? Oh, okay. So my first actually this isn't my first YouTube channel. This was the first one to have videos. The true original first channel. I'm gonna find it. I know I have it here. Yep, found it. Cool 8 and H. Oh, it was also 2016. September 2, 2016 was when like I actually made like a real account instead of just no account checking out videos. Yep. So at least in less than a year, it will be officially 10 years since I made my first true account. And time flies fast. Yeah. Otherwise, stay excited because the future is gold. Gold indeed. Goodbye and good night, everyone. Peace.